In this video, we go green by racing Toyota Priuses. We also decide to cause a crash by hitting an Aston Martin DBR9. And in race C, well, we absolutely send it at Interlagos. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Gran Turismo Weekly Race Guide here in 2023, week 51. Yes, it's the penultimate week of the year and we have one of the worst daily races of the year, or forever in fact. Yes, in the background you're seeing a Toyota Prius at Tokyo Center Clockwise. What exactly are we doing here? Well, we're racing 4 laps. It's a grid start with a false start check, which seems pretty useless to be honest with you. Comfort medium tyres and the bop is on. But of course you can add aero and do some of the fun things to style the car, of course. Now, this race is a bit bulky because there are no gears. It's just foot to the floor and then just manipulation of the throttle a little bit. Now, if you don't like this race and you want to jump to race B or C, there are some timestamps there for you. But I did this race, so potentially you didn't have to. But let's see what I'm really talking about by jumping to the race right now. Right, here we are then at the start. We have a couple of liveried cars, but mostly not. All choosing the rentals, of course. That's what I do always for these daily races, just because it's easier to jump in and go and not worry about the oil change. Right, here we go in the Prius. Fully electric, apparently. Traction control I put on 1. I mean, just in case, but obviously we don't need it as we kick off with the only sound that you can hear of the horn. Yes, the most annoying thing in Gran Turismo, I would say, at the moment in these races is the horn constantly there as we look down the inside of Shelty then, who apparently got a really bad start there. Maybe just lifted a bit too much. Maybe a slight penalty. Who knows? As we head towards turn 1 then. Sonic's Prius actually looks pretty good, to be honest with you. Livery up there. We just tap the walls slightly. You can tap the walls a little bit here. It won't penalise you straight away. So I am expecting wall riding at some point to appear in this daily race as we go into the right-hander then. We're carrying a lot of speed here as we go through here. Mario Sonic there just... Oh! Now, Mario Sonic apologised for that. I don't think Mario Sonic had to apologise for that, in my opinion. And actually waits up for me here. I think that was fine. I think there wasn't enough of a gap there in the first place. I went for it and it sort of closed off with netcode as well. All good in my opinion. Now we've got Private Goma going down the inside. Slide tap on my rear there. Just pushed me into the wall a little bit. Again, the red Prius there. Literally trying to race clean here. You can see that as we go up here. We're side by side. It's trying to race clean. You are going to get these small little taps here, there, and everywhere. And it's how you deal with them. So we are going to lose out to that driver there. And to Shelty here, going around the outside as we head onto lap number 2 then. In towards turn number 2, I think that is as well. The slight tap up ahead. I'm not sure what was going on there. Hazards went on. Bit weird, to be honest with you, between the two there as we continue on. Then we're going to bump draft Shelty because there's no real way to overtake on this. Everyone's going the same speed. You know, there's no weight in the car to knock it off with fuel or anything. It's just go around and see if you can overtake. Now we've got some barrier bashing going on up here. Barrier bashing! Oh, we'll keep that. We'll keep that going forward. Barrier bashing as we go through the right-hander then. That happened, but we're still in P9 here. Not much going on here. The final lap then, in towards this right we go. Shelty's just slightly tapped the rear, or the inside of that corner, not the rear of the corner. I do apologise, by the way, if I look tired. I've had like 3 hours-ish sleep. So, yeah, I am pretty tired today as we continue on through here. Now, Shelty actually is going to let me go towards the right-hand side just to make it a bit entertaining. So I appreciate this, Shelty. We have Mario Sonic behind, of course, as we go up the hill, and the horn's still blaring away there as we go into the right-hander, and we're going to just brake a little bit here, try and maintain some form of speed as we go through there, and we do indeed. They're going to be side by side behind, but we, of course, go up into P8 as we go through the last corner then. Slight tap on the barrier there by Arkish. Barrier bashing once again, as is Hodgson then, as we leave that corner side by side, drag race to the line in a Prius. Didn't expect to say that, but we do get the position and we do finish in P7. But you can see how boring that race can be because you're sort of just stuck in a line hoping they make a mistake, really. And it's a very tight circuit as well. So the lower down the drive ratings, the more you're going to suffer with crashes. Right, heading towards turn 1 then. What do you actually do here? So you got the end of the soundproofing there, and you've also got the arrow. So I want you to, at the end of the soundproofing, the first left box, I want you to lift off. And then before the arrow is when you should start turning in. Now, some people will brake for this corner, just a tiny bit of braking. I just lift and turn in and let the weight shift there as I do here. And I'm trying to maintain at least 90 miles an hour, which is what I do right there. That's a really good run, actually. This second corner, once again, you just turn in. You want to keep a nice tight line here and just maintain a nice tight line because it's all about averaging the speed around the circuit while also minimizing the circuit distance. So tight lines, but maintaining that speed, and that's what we do here as we continue on through this tunnel. As we go up the hill then, this again is a lift-off corner. Some people may find braking easier, but lifting off is the best thing to do here. And what I'm looking for there is the red lines that appear on the circuit. Okay, that's telling you a corner's coming up potentially, and slow down. So we're going to lift for that, and then we're going to turn into the corner. And we're going to try and maintain 100 miles an hour. That's our goal here, 100 miles an hour as we go into this. So lift off, turn into the corner, try and get as close to the barrier as we can. I tried to get 101 there. Doesn't quite work out, but 100 did there. Happy days indeed as we continue on through that sector then. So fast forward a little bit here, heading down towards the right hander then. On the right hand side, you got that white sign there. That is your brake marker. We are braking for this one, finally. The brake marker. We are braking for this one then. It's just a tiny bit of braking. And again, it's as you go into the corner, and you actually want to trail brake a little bit in this car. Okay, so that's what we're going to do here. We're going to lift off, go on the brakes and turn in. Notice there we go no further above 50% on the brakes there as we continue on through here. Now, this corner, this is either you brake or you can lift off. Either you can do. Lifting off is very tricky to do, so braking I would highly advise. And it's where the highway markers for the corner start right there in front of you. Okay, so dab the brakes a little bit as you go into this corner, and that's what I do here. But I actually missed the apex a little bit there. Do be careful of that. Try and maintain 85 miles an hour if you can. I dropped off there because I missed that apex. And again, keep a nice tight line now. So I'm keeping towards that inside line. I'll then go over towards the left-hand side here. Again, maintaining a very tight line here as we go towards the right-hand side. Heading towards the end of the lap now, and at the end of the tunnel, which is what we're looking for next, this is our brake marker for this next corner. Very tricky corner to get right this, because you actually want to brake later than you realize, because you actually want the weight to shift in the car to get around this corner a little bit better. Okay, so that's what I'm going to do. Using the end of the tunnel, I'm going to brake and turn in, and that should rotate the car enough here where you can see the rotation there and maintain 8 miles an hour. Just went under there, but 80 is the supreme target if you can do that. The final corner then. This is a tricky corner. So you've got the soundproofing that starts there, and then the start of the red and white sign. Okay, so I've started to brake at this moment. Might I want to start turning in at the red and white sign. Now, if you can maintain 75 miles an hour, you are a genius. I couldn't quite do it, but, you know, I'm trying to maintain around that if I can. Notice it drops to 72, going up to 73 again. Just be careful on exit, and you do need this run-up to start each lap as well, because it's slower if you restart. Keep that in mind. That's a 142.6, and that's the end of Daily Race A, and we go to Daily Race B, where it's a little bit more interesting, a little bit more overtaking, and quite a lot more action, if I do say so myself. What exactly are we doing here at Deep Forest? Well, it's 6 laps. It's a rolling start, and we are on racing hard tyres. You can only adjust the brake balance this week in these cars. Now, I chose the Porsche because it's quite a stable car, and it's pretty fast, to be honest, as we know from the car profiles. Let's jump to the race end. Let's have a look at exactly what happens. Right, here we are then at the start. We've got a Ford GTLM race car in pole, and me trying to keep my eyes open. As I say, 3 hours-ish of sleep. Preparing me for the special coming up later on this week. Now, do make sure you are subscribed for that special, the 40,000 subscriber special, where we are lapping 24 hours of Nürburgring and trying to break a world record. Should be an intense one, folks. A fun one as well, and hopefully a challenge that you will enjoy. Right, let's get back into the challenge of this daily race then, as we are behind Mario Sonic in one of those Ford GTLM race cars, which are doing very well at the moment in the daily races. As we go around the outside there, we've got a DBR9 getting all sorts of votes there. I think they were tapped by the Porsche as we continue on through on the inside of Mario Sonic, and on the inside of Shelty as well. In towards the left we go. We just get that done. Beautiful stuff there as we head in towards left-hander before the straight then. Through we go. Going to start accelerating here. Unfortunately, we tap the Aston Martin DBR9 GT1 car there. Effectively GT3 car in Gran Turismo, of course. But we do wait up for the driver there. It is my fault. Therefore, I should wait up for them. And I do apologise for this. I apologise after the race as well. We're also going to have a good race with EV Hop, though, here in that Aston Martin. As you see, I'm trying to get the run on it, and it's just really quick in a straight line. Now, we know this from the car profiles, of course, and it's not really that good in the corners. So in the corners, I can catch up to them very, very quickly. But trying to overtake them is a different story, if I do say so. We've got Shelty there, unfortunately, on the sidelines in that Toyota Supra. As we go into left-hand, we've got another car who has been punted out the way. We'll have a look at both of those in the bloopers, of course. As you can see, here we are behind the DBR9 once again. I'm in that slipstream and not really gaining on it either. Slowly but surely, here we go. We'll go towards the inside then. Hard on the brakes as we slow the car down into the corner. We do get it stopped indeed. Going on the power, a little bit of oversteer there. Going to get a tap from behind, unfortunately. That sends us off a little bit here. And they go back on through. I assume a mistake, of course, but we'll have a look in the bloopers, of course, of all of this then. So they go deep here into turn 1. I'm going to beat it out of here as quick as I can. No oversteer this time then as we head up this little hill then. And here we go with some side-by-side action. And this is why I know it was probably a mistake, because we have some clean racing here. Going into left then. They're going to go a bit wide. We've got a car off as well. That was a Lamborghini. That's a tough choice to pick here for Deep Forest with all the undulations. We head towards the line in P12. Now, I didn't want to leave it there, to be honest with you, because you didn't really see that much of a race. So I did jump straight back into this one after I did race A. So remember, I do C, B, A, and then I jump back into B, just to give you a bit of an idea here. So heading towards turn 1 here. The Mustang going to send it down the inside here. I try and avoid Marisonic. Marisonic just gets tagged there by Podium as we go through the left-hander and continue on out of here then. So we're at the back of the pack right now, but we've got a lot of work to do then. We've got a GTR in here as well that you can see in the distance. Godzilla, of course. Mustang there slightly off then as we go into the left and the right. Now, I'm just backing out of this a little bit because cars are so close together here. Always going to have contact, as you see there. That's why I was backing out of it, but I still managed to tap Marisonic because they got held up then by the drivers up ahead. Continue on through here. The Mustang is off and out of here. So we're now up to P15 as we go into the left-hander then. Oh, we've got somebody else off there. That's Turbo Art. Is that Turbo Art off again? Or that a different driver? I'm not too sure. As we go into the left-hander then. Accelerating out then. A little bit of a wiggle from Mario Sonic. Can we get the run on the German driver in the GTR then? It looks like we can Mario Sonic with an indicator to the left-hand side there. We've got the Porsche driver who says don't on the back of it. Don't what? I'm not sure what that means here. But I'll tell you what I am not going to do is go 3 wide into this corner. So I'm going to back out of this and hopefully get the run out the corner. That's my plan here at least. You see them side by side. I'm going to try and accelerate out. Oh, there we go. Bit of a oversteer from the Porsche. And the GTR had it as well. We've got somebody off. So we've gained 2 positions so far already. And we are on the inside of this Porsche. As we've got to squeeze a bit. Oh, hello. That's a big hit. What happened to that Renault driver? My word, they went flying. Wow. Anyway, we're going to continue on here then as we head down towards turn number 1. Defending from the GTR then. We do slow it down here into P10. We are with all the crazy crashes going on. So that's 2 races you've seen that, by the way. This is one of the reasons why I do the weekly race guide. It gives you a feel of the race. Lots of crashes so far, so expect them throughout the week. That's the idea here. Mario Sonic going very much over towards left-hand side there in terms of taking that penalty. We've got somebody off up ahead as we go through the left-hander. And, where they gone? Oh, I think they were to the left-hander. They're gone as well. So they were off wide and then got turned round on the exits as well. So we're up to P8 now. Fastest lap for us. Mario Sonic goes down the inside then. Hard on the brakes. The Porsche is definitely better on the brakes here as we maintain the position for now as we go through this left-hander. A lot of fighting happening up ahead. Let's join that fighting then as we've got Super Alucard as they look towards the left-hander. Oh, I was thinking about sending it, but I backed out of it for now. They sort of gave me space anyway. As we go through this corner then, we do get a nice clean run out of here then. It's Porsche versus Porsche. And the one person we do have to keep an eye on is Mario Sonic in that Ford. That Ford is ridiculously fast in a straight line. Now, I was going to do beat the meta in that car again this week because obviously, in last week where the Genesis was the meta car. I didn't, unfortunately, due to an emergency, so that's the reason why Beat the Meta didn't happen on Sunday as well. Because we do have to win in that car at some point still. We haven't done it yet. It is very much up there in the vote. The Volkswagen Beetle was up there as well, but it didn't really have the pace to beat the Genesis at Sardinia. Maybe this week the Beetle is going to happen at Deep Forest. Who knows? But what I will say is that German defended beautifully round the outside into turn 1. Real big shout out for that move. Really, really well played indeed. As we continue out on here, it's Deja Vu once again, side by side with that Porsche. This time, no Ford to get in the middle of us this time. As we fast forward a little bit here, you can see here, we are up ahead then as we go in towards the left-hander here. Turn number 1, and we do get the job done then. So up into P8 we go then as we advance then towards the final lap where we got 2 Fords side by side. There's a Porsche up ahead there, EU90 Tres then as we go into the left. Now continue on out of here. Brilliant move there by Mario Sonic, I will say so, on the inside there. As we continue on out then, we've got HZ towards my right hand side. It's basically 2 Porsches versus 2 Fords. Who's going to win this battle then? As we go down the dip then, up we go, head towards the line. The Porsches go left, the Fords go right. Mario Sonic gets the Porsche up ahead. I get done by the other Ford. Looks like the Ford was the quicker car then. They won the battle, but it's not over in terms of the war. Or apparently it is, as Marto wins there in the Ford GT as well. The Ford seems very quick here. Who knows whether that's the meta car? We'll find out as we go through the week. Well, I'm going to give you a track guide here of Deep Forest. Heading towards turn 1, you may want to use the start of the curb or alternatively the 100 board or somewhere in between. They're your markers for turn 1 here on the Racing Hard tyre. And I'm doing this lap on the Porsche 911, of course, what I used in the race. I'm going to go hard on the brakes then as we go into this corner, and I'm dropping to first. I'm going to short shift to second gear because you do suffer with power oversteer, as I experienced in the race, of course. Now, that is your accelerating marker there. It's the orange barriers in the red and white section there. As it gets towards the center of your screen, you really should start accelerating. You do need these on hairpins because you can't necessarily see the exits, and you need a marker to start accelerating to know that you are going to make it. Now, I am using +5 brake balance here, if you are wondering, in that Porsche 911. As we go over here, though, then on the left-hand side is the start of a fence there. Now, I'm going to use that. Sometimes I'll drop a gear and chuck it in. Sometimes I'll just lift and turn in. That's my marker, essentially. You don't really want to brake for this corner unless you really, really have to, because it'll just adjust the weight balance a bit weird for the corner in itself. You see there, I've dropped a third here, clipping on the inside there. And as we approach the left here, we've got the concrete starting where the grass is there. That's my brake marker for the left-hander. And I'm braking a little bit before that, okay, because I actually want to cut a little bit of this so I get a nice run through the right-hander. It'll also stabilize the car a bit more on the exit of the right-hander. That's what I'm going to do here. You can cut it a little bit more than that as well. As I go through here then, use all of the exit there. And as we get towards the exit of the tunnel there, the end of the curb is your brake marker for this right-hander. Now, you actually want to keep quite a nice tight line for this one, okay? It's just an everlasting corner. Keep it tight, keep it nice, because you are looking for one marker on exit, which will allow you to escape the corner and hopefully be fine. So that's what I'm going to try and do here. Nice and tight. And we are looking for that red sign there. That's your marker to start accelerating, okay? You see that, you go, okay, I can pretty much make the corner now. Start accelerating. Don't go 100% straight away. You'll get loads of oversteer. Just start accelerating nice and slow. Okay, and that's what we're going to do here. Notice how I gradually go to 100% throttle. That keeps the car nice and stable, of course. As we get to the curb here, as it protrudes into the track the most, that is my brake marker, and I also chuck it in at the same time, okay, because your car's going to get a bit light. So if you already adjust the weight as you go over this, it's actually going to really help make sure you hit the apex and be able to accelerate earlier. And that's what I'm going to do here. Notice how much I cut off the inside there. It allows me to accelerate towards the exits of the corner. And as we get towards this bridge, okay, we've got dark tarmac going into a lighter tarmac, or we've got the arm coat going into the bridge there. Either of these markers are really good markers to put on the anchors, essentially. Hit the brakes for this left-hander. You're on hard tyres, so you're going to have to brake earlier than the softer compounds we've used here before. Clip the apex and use all of the exits in terms of the red and white curbing. Go further over, you will get a penalty, so just be careful of that, okay? We're going to head towards the hairpin then. What we're looking for on the right-hand side is either the camera structure there that they use for cameras, or alternatively, the start of the fence. I've highlighted both of those. Okay, they're your brake markers for this final corner. Now, you might want to take a tight line. You might want to take a wide line to start your lap, because you will get a little bit extra miles an hour, of course, on the start-finish line. And if you're after that extra tenth, maybe it's there for you. Just be careful on exit, because it's very easy to get a lot of oversteer on these hard tyres. So just be careful. Modulate the throttle, which means gradually go onto it, of course, and then head towards the line, where we get a 126.5. Not too bad with 3 hours sleep, if I do say so myself. Now we jump to race C then, where we are in Group 4 at Interlagos. Now I'm in the Mazda 3 again because of that huge start-finish straight. We'll see what cars are going to become strong as we go throughout the week. We're doing 11 laps here. It's a rolling start, and you do have to pit on the medium tyres. You don't necessarily have to change them, though. We'll talk about that in the race, of course. ×5 tyre wear, ×1 fuel, and you can adjust that brake balance, but you cannot adjust the suspension. As I say, I chose Mazda 3, as we see more TCR members did as well. Let's jump to the race and let's have a look exactly what happens and exactly what to do. Right then, here we go. What have people picked? We've got Ferrari in P1, Bembo in the Mazda in P2. There's quite a lot of Mazdas in this one, to be fair, as we kick off the race. As I say, if you're not subscribed already, please do subscribe. We've got an insane live stream coming up on Friday that you really do want to be a part of, and we are trying to break a world record. Right, heading towards turn 1 then. What can we do here? Mario Sonic in the Ferrari. We've got Sebastian Loeb in the Mazda. Toyota? What's the Toyota GT86 doing in this race? You don't see that car very often anymore, with the Supra being so dominant. But even so, we've got Frauduloso in that GT86 as we head towards the left-hander then. Not much happened in turn 1 here, but as we go into this right, I'm trying on the outside of the Ferrari. Very hard to do in an FF car, of course, because it just understeers for days, or as Tom Brooks would say, understeers like a cross-channel ferry. Right, in towards the right we go, and then the left then. And we're still lots of side-by-side action up ahead here as we continue on through them. We're going to head up towards this right-hander, and we're still side by side up ahead. Then we're just stuck at the back of this fighting at the moment. And Mario Sonic's going to actually look round the outside of Sebastian Loeb. Then going to be the inside for the left-hander. Beautiful little effort here by Mario Sonic, but is it going to be all for nothing? That is the question, because these Master 3s, it's all about the straight line, and we've stayed with this pack here in the Master 3. How many can we overtake? We're going to head towards the pit lane then, where that Master 3 goes in. We've also got Consta in the NSX. They go in the pit as well. Consta doesn't change tyres now, just Sebastian Loeb. We'll see how that, we'll see how that hand deals with later. That's not what I was trying to say. We'll see how that hand that was dealt is dealt with later. There we go. We'll get it out there. We did send it down the inside of Mario Sonic. Clean move there. Happy days indeed. Up into P11. Frogeluso with a 0.5 penalty for a track limit violation there through the center S here. And look at the run we got. Like, the speed difference here is just astronomical. Look at it. We clean on by before anything here as we go in towards the left. No harder on the brakes is that Toyota GT86. Much better on the brakes. Round the outside they try, but once again we've got the acceleration here as we continue on through there, and we do get up into P10. Happy days indeed. Can we slow it down though for the right hander? We've got Spider up ahead. Hyper is TCR Spider then as we go through the right hander. For all TCR members wondering about the jersey and anything else, do make sure you check out Discord. I am going to be sorting out over Christmas now, of course, because I ended up filming for the BBC for Gran Turismo. How cool is that? And I also did play with the champions as well. I raced Steve, of course. If you haven't checked out any of those events, make sure you do check them out. I'll be on TV on the 27th of December, I believe, for the Christmas lectures for those interested. As we go into the left hand then, still side by side with Spider. Beautiful stuff, beautiful racing here with the Ferrari driver then, as we go hard on the brakes and we look to slow it down. Now look at the difference between the speed here of the Ferrari and the Mazda 3, and Mazda is so much faster than the Ferrari. Look at this, we get in the middle of them and we just accelerate past here, and it's job done. Job done there. Nice and easy as we advance a lap later then, where we catch up to the next pack. And I decided I'm going to pit early here. What I am going to also do is change my tyres. And the reason I do this is I can see the tyres around a quarter, okay? Around a quarter in the race. So I don't feel like we can get to the end if we did that. So I do then change the tyres here as we go in to the right. Now, I did a video on pit lanes, okay? Now, I'm showing you the pit lane exit here because I went... Spider was behind me. Now Spider is actually inside me right now because Spider didn't change their tyres. And as we exit, you're going to see both cars ghosted. Make sure you check out my pit lane video, okay? It's all about how some cars are faster in the pits than other cars. Now, we know this has always been a thing in GT Sports and in GT7. But I did some scientific tests and then gave you the answers, so you can pick and choose cars potentially on that. We advance a lap later then. We've got a few others coming out of the pits. We've got Sonic here. Shout out to you. Sonic and Mario Sonic. We can never split you, apparently, because you go into the pits at the same time and you come out at the same time as we try round the outside of Mario Sonic. Here we go. Going to boot it. Side-by-side action there. This car, as we saw earlier, has much higher acceleration. And this is why this is my race pick, okay? Not necessarily time trial pick. There's potentially faster cars in time trial. But in the race, this is the go-to car, in my opinion. I think this is going to be hard to beat. Although, I could be wrong. It depends. I did go for an early pit stop, of course. But I do feel like this car is very dominant here. Hodgson then comes out the pits on lap number 7. Was going to probably go without the tyre change. Realised they had to. So came in on that lap 7. And we have got the fastest lap in this race. A 37.8. Which was 4 tenths quicker than the fastest lap at the time. So it does have pace, this car. It really does. We advance to the end of lap 7 then, where Sebastian Loeb, who pitted lap 1, remember, is definitely struggling for tyres. We are going to have a look at when they did run out of tyres in this race to show you that you do have to change tyres in the Mazda 3. And potentially in other cars as well, you may find it a little bit better, but even so, definitely in the Mazda 3, any FF car, you are going to need to change your tyres. From the inside of Loeb then, we do go through here. We've got Bembo up ahead, another member of TCR, of course. Shout out to every single member of TCR as we go to 2024. Lots planned, of course, as we head towards turn 1, where another plan is in the making as we send it down the inside then. Looking to get it stopped. We do indeed. Slight tap between the two behind there as Sebastian Loeb tried to follow me through. But we are up into P3. Happy days indeed. Constant up ahead. Then we go to lap number 11, where my tyres are getting low now. Remember, Hodgson came out the pits at the end of lap 7. So those tyres are going to be fresh as a daisy there for Hodgson. You can see that I've still got the fastest lap in this race, which is always nice, isn't it, to keep the fastest lap. But we are struggling now on this last lap. So if you're in the Mazda 3, highly recommend probably a lap 4 or 5 pit stop if you're trying to undercut Otherwise, lap 5, lap 6 is probably going to be your best bet. Lap 5 is probably the ultimate strategy here in the Mazda 3. We are trying to defend from Hodgson then. Hodgson looking around the outside. Can Hodgson get it done then? We're side by side then. Beautiful bit of racing here as we continue on through, still side by side. We're going to start understeering a little bit here. I have to lift there because of that front right tire wear. It's just so low. And Hodgson gets the job done. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Now, Hodgson also does some YouTube as well, which you can check out. So you just YouTube Hodgson's name and you'll get it there. But we are going to finish the race in P4 in the end. Pretty okay race, to be honest with you. You can have some good close racing. Is Mazda 3 going to be the car to go to? I don't know. I think it will be, to be honest. I think it's just too fast in this racetrack. But hey, who knows? We'll find out as we go through the week. Here's a lap guide, though, in that Mazda 3. As you head towards turn 1, just past the 100 board, on the right-hand side, you've got the stairs, okay, or the seats in blue, but the stairs are in grey. Lovely marker for turn 1. You've also got the red canopies for the pit when you're in the race, of course. The second red one is what I normally use. But the stairs in time trial, what I use, the grey ones there, and they are brilliant marker. I use them in all classes of racing here. Going through the Senna S, I short shift to 4th gear. That is to reduce the understeer, of course, but you do have to rev this car as well, so you have to be careful where you short shift. As you can see here, I stay in 4th then to maximize the revs as we continue to the next corner. Now, this marker is my marker I use all the time here, and essentially it's either the end of the wall, the 100 board, or the tarmac that meets the actual race circuit. Either of these markers are really good markers for this left-hander, okay? Pick and choose depending on your Group 4 car, of course. Now, I'm actually trying to get as close to the tarmac as I can on the right side. That is my marker for this one. And I want to turn in quite early here and use all of the curb. It'll help me around a little bit in the FF cars and accelerate out, avoiding the slippy stuff on exit, of course. Now we are going to head up this hill then, and we're going to use the marshal box on the left hand side once we get to it. And there it is, okay. So with the FF cars, you are going to turn in quite early here. You want to slow the car down quite a lot. In a lot of other cars, you are going to brake after the marshal box, okay? Because you can just turn better. You don't understeer as much. You can just chuck it in and it should stick. But that's what we're using here as a marker for this right-hander. You can see there, I missed the first apex, which is a problem. And I am going to lose about 1/10.5 to 2 tenths of a second there on this particular lap. Heading towards the sharp right-hander now, we've got the McDonald's essential tyre marks, or the monobrow of tyre marks, whichever one you want to use here. That is my marker for this right-hander. So as I approach that, I'm going to hammer hard on the anchors, and hopefully the car will start turning in. Let's get brake balance wise. I'm using +5. I do put the brake balance in the description now if you haven't already noticed, for those that were wondering. As we go into this left-hander, I'm going to stay in 2nd gear, which is unusual for an FF car, okay? And the reason for that is to maximize the revs on exit. You can just make it by maximizing the revs, okay? And on the right side there, we've got the start of the curb as a brake marker for the right-hander. Again, we're going to brake just after that leaves the edge of the screen. We can brake really late in this Mazda 3, and we do want the rear to rotate. Essentially, we want it to rotate, so we're pointed and can squirt straight out of the corner. That's what we're trying to do here. Does it work? Not quite this time. Definitely lost another 10th there as we continue on out there. You are going to have to be careful of understeer in the Mazda 3 through this corner. Not in other cars, though, as we short shift a bit to 4th there. And what we're looking for on the right side is the cross in the barriers. That is my marker for this final corner, okay? You can use patches of grass. I used to use that, of course, but that fence there is a lovely marker for this final corner. So as that hits the edge of my screen, as I get to it, I'm going to hit the brakes here, and I'm going to go and stay in 3rd gear. The reason for that is to reduce that understeer on exit, of course, as we continue on out of here, and then head up this big old hill where the power of the Mazda 3 really comes into its own. As we head towards the line, that's a 137.5. Do you expect 136s here? Absolutely, as we go to some bloopers then. So this is with the Aston Martin, okay, going through the left-hander. See there, they're just not going 100% throttle because of the Porsche. They were doing the right thing. Completely my fault. You can see that, and that's why I waited up there. So I do apologize once again for that. So what happened to Chelsea then? Going into the right, slight tap from the Ford there, and it just unsettled the Supra there, and that sent Chelsea round, and also got a penalty for the barrier hit, which is pretty annoying in the grand scheme of it. Now, there was a lot of chat about this driver being a dirty driver, so I wanted to look at this a bit more, okay? Right here, there's a slight tap from behind, slight tap in front then on turbo there. As we go through the left, it looks like a slight tap, a slight niggle on the rear of the car there, and that sends them off. Now, I would argue that's not dirty, it's just bad driving, but they should have waited up there in that incident. We go to the turn 1 incident between me and the Aston Martin here. So this is where I lose the rear end a little bit there. And you can see there, they're bouncing the throttle a little bit, slight tap. They do give me room to come back on circuit. Again, it's just a small little mistake there, nothing major at all. As we continue on. Now, did I hurt them? Did I push them off here? That is the question. Lamborghini going off there. Going through here. No, they just understeered that bit too much. Tried to maintain that speed. Oh, God, we nearly got tagged there on the exit as well. So that was all fine and dandy. Now, I just want to show you some tyre wear. I couldn't show you some of the other replays because my storage is getting worse. I can save even less replays than ever now. But you can see Sebastian Loeb's tyre here, lap 10. It's gone completely at this moment in time. So they're just going to continue to drop back at this moment in time. But you can see the Mazda 3s are really racing well when you do change tyres. So highly advised, not a lap 1 stop in this car. Do change tyres, but potentially in other cars, like the NSX that we see here with Consta, you can stop on lap 1, get out of the traffic, and race towards the end. You are just going to be slightly slower than the Mazda 3. But quite an interesting race this week. I kind of like Daily Race C, and I'll see where it plays out or how it plays out during the week. That's going to be it for this video, though. If you did like it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel to stay in touch with all the latest content, including that 40k special. I'll put the trailer on there for you, as well as that pit lane video there as well. Thank you so much for the support, as always, and I hope to see you in another video or live stream very soon.